I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Okay, I've got the bases glued on. Now I need to put some screws in. Now, it's been better than a month since I glued these bases on, and they've been sitting down here in the basement waiting for me to get caught up with everything else so I can get back to my toolbox. So I'm going to poke some holes through, get some screws started, see if I can't get the casters mounted. Now this isn't deodorant, it's beeswax. I drove those without it. They went okay. Let's see how that does with it. Seems to have done pretty good. This old Makita, this has the ratcheting clutch in it. This is just a straight drive. It's a drill motor. This is a drill driver. Both about the same age. had this one for a long time, and I just picked this one up. Came with two batteries and a charger. One battery works. This one, unfortunately, is dead. Haven't tried rebuilding one of these, might try it, but I've got so many battery projects going now that I don't think I'm going to take on anymore. I walked into the Habitat for Humanity restore down on Westnedge, and this was sitting on the floor by the trash can. Now that's usually an indication that somebody decided it wasn't worth anything. The batteries were dead. They put the batteries in it, pulled the trigger, nothing. I brought it home, put the battery on the charger, left it on the charger for about 6 hours. Charged up just fine. Now it needs a little cleanup. Chuck's kind of dirty. The Phillips head screwdriver bit came with it. And it came in this cool metal box. Badly beat up. It's going to take some tin work to get it straightened back out again, but got all the latches on it. I think it's pretty cool. So when I picked it up and it didn't have a price on it, I went up to the counter and I said, "How much?" And they said, "Well, seeing as how it was junk and we couldn't get it started, it's yours." I said, "I can't walk out of here without giving you something," so I gave him $3. So I got a Makita drill driver for $3 along with all the accessories and one battery. Battery cost $30 to replace. So I'm pretty pleased. Now I have two Makitas. One's a drill driver and one's a drill. I've had the drill since my dad left it to me, and that was 1998. And this one I got last week Friday. Now that I've got the legs fastened down with screws, the glue is really stronger than any fastener that you can have, but the fasteners are really good for shock. Glue, once you break the bond, it falls off. The screws, I could hit this hard enough to crack the glue off, but then the screws are going to take over. Now I don't expect to have this running down the road 60 miles an hour hitting bumps, so I doubt I'll ever break the legs off. But I'm going to have a lot of heavy stuff in here, and I don't really want to cause a problem. So that's why the extra fasteners. Not necessary, just kind of a backup. Now let's mount the casters. I'm going to have the movable casters on that end and the fixed casters on this end. They have different bases. So the hole pattern is different. Well, I have the caster mounted. Just going to mount one because I got to take it off and paint the legs anyways. But I wanted to see if it was going to mount up and work okay. Looks like a good deal. These 4 screws anchored in the way they are in the 3 components of the leg will help hold this corner solidly. I think that's going to hold up really well. The little locking caster will keep it from rolling away from me. The fixed casters on that end will still roll, but they'll have to drag these along with them, so I don't think they'll be moving. I would have liked to had a set of casters that locked in both directions so they wouldn't spin and also so they wouldn't roll. But these are Harbor Freight casters and they're rather inexpensive. They're left over from an old project that I was mounting tools out in the garage so that I could move things around. And I needed a bunch of them, and I needed them inexpensive because I was bucks down after the move. I'm pleased with the caster mounting. Also, I'm pleased to be able to use some of the tools that I just recently picked up. This little scale, that's one in the box 2 of the Harbor Freight boxes. It was pretty sad shape, all rusty, you couldn't read the numbers. A little bit of Scotch-Brite and some 1200 grit silicon carbide sandpaper, shined it right up. Works quite nice. Little wax, now I got a scale. I used it to center up the casters. This drill driver is going to come in handy. Now I have a nice DeWalt drill driver, and you know, it's actually better than this because it's an impact driver. But this is cool, and the price was great. Also, it's got that neat tin box. I just love the boxes. Not a big fan of toolboxes, but boxes for your equipment, keeps all the bits and parts together. That's handy. Also, they go on the shelf, store easily, keeps everything lined up, nothing gets lost. So that's the toolbox base. I'm going to paint this, let it sit overnight, and then I'll be able to put the casters on tomorrow. Little announcement. We decided, with the economy being the booming success that it is, the interest rate on loans went way down. So we refinanced the house. And when we did that, we ended up being able to borrow $20,000 on top of what we already had without increasing the payment at all. Interest rate stayed the same, the payment stayed the same. So that's a great deal. So we got $20,000, we're rebuilding the kitchen. I have Darell Burke Construction bidding on the job. I think they're going to actually get the bid. They came in a little high on the price, but I trust them. So they're going to be putting in a new kitchen. I'm tasked with tearing out the old kitchen. I just got their permits for the wiring yesterday. Ran down to the office, gave them $105 for 2 circuits. Yeah, it's a pretty good racket. $50 to apply, $45 to pay for the inspection, $5 a piece for each 20 amp circuit, and $9 for the range circuit. So anyways, it's all paid up. I've got the wire run over to the range today. This afternoon I have to unload cabinets and get ready to start tearing some cabinets out. Now I'm not going to be doing video of all that because it's just going to be way too much time spent fixing cameras and editing and doing all that stuff. And I'm going to be a little slow on the videos. You've noticed that they've been running kind of hit and miss lately. Well, I got a lot of irons in the fire and I got to make sure none of them burn. So if you miss a video one day, just think of me in here trying to tear some cabinets out and get something put together. Because I have the kitchen to tear out. Later on this year, if we're lucky, we're going to tear out the bathtub and put in a new sink and vanity and bathtub. Yeah, Darell Burke's going to be doing that too. I get to tear it out, but he gets to fix it. I think I got the better end of the deal. I'm a little dirtier, but I don't have all that fussy stuff. So, that's what we're going to be doing here. It's probably going to take us until after the first of the year to get the kitchen done. I'll show you when it's all done, and if there's anything really interesting, I'll give you a couple of shots here and there. So if you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.